it just seemed like, there was a lot, like, obvious money grubbing.
Just for the record, Trump has said he stopped speaking to Epstein because Epstein stole workers from Mar-a-Lago's spa. Now, that is what happened with Virginia Giuffre. Virginia was a worker in the Mar-a-Lago spa, and Jeffrey Epstein did steal her to go work for him.
Maxwell took her over to Epstein's house, which then began 4 years of what Virginia said was sexual slavery.
Breaking news this hour, officials say multimillionaire Jeffrey Epstein has taken his own life.
I guess the big question now is what happens to the federal case that was moving forward?
Well, the federal criminal case will end with his death.
We will get to the bottom of what happened, and there will be accountability.
There's video that when you look at the video, and we will release, that's what's taken a while on this, we are working on cleaning it up to make sure you have an enhanced, and we're going to give the original so you don't think there were any shenanigans. You're going to see there's no one there but him.
The video jumps just before 11:59 to midnight. There's 1 full minute missing.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
All right.
I guess I would. I think that less so because, you don't know. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there because there's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world.
The U.S. House could vote in the coming days on releasing files related to the government investigation into Jeffrey Epstein. Now, this comes after the House Oversight Committee released a batch of the convicted sex offender's private emails, which mentioned President Donald Trump in there multiple times.
As far as the Epstein files I have nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein.
Epstein and Trump were known to be good friends, and in the deposition, he was asked directly.
Have you ever socialized with Donald Trump in the presence of females under the age of 18?
Epstein pauses, shakes his head, then answers.
Though I'd like to answer that question, at least today, I'm going to have to assert my 5th, 6th, and 14th Amendment rights.
If Donald Trump allegedly liked the barely legal type, we would know, Batya, we would know.
Donald Trump knew that I was 13 because the first night that I was there, Tiffany actually suggested that, she had a whole bunch of different wigs, and I expressed interest in them. I always told her that I would love to walk around with blue hair, and so I tried some on, and there was a blonde wig that she said that looked great on me. So I wore that wig, and Donald Trump had specifically asked about me because I remind him of his daughter, and she said, well, she's 13 as well.
Okay, this is a room that nobody's probably walked into for the past 10 plus years. It's a little time capsule, if you notice by the Madonna clock and the Bon Jovi sort of wall. This was my bed. It's a little small for me now. Probably why I don't stay in here anymore, but yeah.
Breaking news coming in, some sad news to share. We're learning this from the New York Post, several other outlets reporting this as well. Virginia Giuffre, the most prominent victim of the late convicted pedophile Jeffrey Epstein, took her own life on Thursday. This is just weeks after she made headlines for saying that she had days to live after she claimed to have been hit by a bus.
And what was interesting, that the police in Western Australia downplayed the severity of that accident.
There was an accident on the 24th of March. It was a bus with another vehicle.
And was there any passengers on the bus at the time, are you aware?
I'm not aware of passengers on the bus, but certainly the bus driver reported it as he was required to do and in the right timeframes. And I'm advised there was about $2,000 damage in the vehicle, not aware of any injuries.
Virginia shared this photo from an Australian hospital bed on March 30th, saying she was hit by a school bus and was given only 4 more days to live.
Family of the late Roberts Giuffre, who was one of paedophile Jeffrey Epstein's most prominent accusers, says she wanted files about the investigation into him made public. Speaking to a US network, CNN, they also say President Donald Trump should not pardon Epstein's associate, Ghislaine Maxwell, who's currently serving a 20-year sentence for child sex trafficking. Tonight, it's emerged Maxwell has been moved to a lower security federal prison.
It's an unusual move because even according to the Federal Bureau of Prisons' own guidelines, a convicted sex offender should not be in a minimum security jail. As such, she will be afforded more privileges than she was in her previous jail, certainly more time every day out of her cell, but other relative luxuries too. As you might imagine, this move has enraged some of the families of her and Jeffrey Epstein's victims. The family of one of their most high-profile victims, Virginia Roberts Giuffre, who died earlier this year, alongside other victims' families, have released this statement. They said, President Trump has sent a clear message today. Paedophiles deserve preferential treatment and their victims do not matter. This is the justice system failing victims right before our eyes. The American public should be enraged by the preferential treatment being given to a paedophile and a criminally charged child sex offender. This move smacks of a cover-up. The victims deserve better.
It was that constant, we own the police. You can't run, you can't tell anybody. We'll never be held accountable for this.
They said, take off your clothes. I had these little girl undies on, like little hearts on them, I remember, and they were laughing at that because they like that. The younger you look, the better.
These women who were grown-ups when they met Jeffrey Epstein talking about themselves like they were children at the time. To me, that's really off-putting. It's kind of a slap in the face to the actual victims. The Virginia Giuffre aspect where there was just lie upon lie upon lie. Like the idea that this is kind of something that's going to bring Trump down with his own base, with the other side, I just find it to be all so sordid.